I've said this over and over again. I grew up with the DS. Is it obvious? And the one game I was absolutely obsessed with was Pokemon White. I got a DS for it. It wasn't my first game. I'm sure I had some crappy Lego game somewhere or something along those lines. This was my most memorable game by far from my whole childhood, aside from like Face Raiders, maybe. As I grew up, I would always get the new releases of Pokemon, and even some of the spin-offs. I vividly remember Rangers and Conquest. In order to get them, I would go and trade in my games to GameStop, and they would always screw me over. But I was a kid with limited money and limited access to get my own games, so that's what worked for me. I never stopped playing those games. At least once a year, like recently, I have been playing Pokemon White and Black 2, just new runs consistently, but it hasn't really been the same. The DSi, which was actually my first time playing it because I started on 3DS, but even playing on native hardware, it just didn't feel the same. I honestly started thinking that I might have just played it too many times at this point, which maybe. I actually found a way to transfer my PC save of Black 2 all the way over to an actual 3DS copy of the game, like a physical cartridge, because I wanted that real experience. You know what I mean? Point being, I was never really able to recreate that feeling that I had as a kid. That is until I got this thing. Now, I'm sure the video title is going to be something along the lines of the ultimate Pokemon device or something along those lines, but that's true. This beast of a console, in my opinion, accurately recreates all of these older games in the modern era, keeping like the pixel art and everything. Everything stays the same, but it just feels like a fresh coat of paint on it. This thing, before like a few weeks ago, was able to play every single Pokemon game ever. That was until Pokopia came out, and there's no Switch 2 emulator, so obviously that one gets written off. But every single other game, including Legend ZA, is playable on a DS-style device. This thing is a Pokemon's fan literal dream. Every generation to this point available to play. Accurate dual-screen emulation that supports the DS and 3DS games. Even upscaled versions. You can get 4K texture packs and run these 3DS games at HD resolution, and it's just like they're remade. They're amazing. It looks like a remaster. Speed up, slow down, and rewind features just make dialogue-heavy games like Ultra Sun and Moon just a lot easier to get through. You can replay limited time events. It's 2026 and I just played the Victini event in Black 2 from 2011. That's 15 years later, by the way. I think one of the best parts about this, especially as a Pokemon fan, is ROM hacks. You can play ROM hacks in what feels like a native form factor. That and mods. Like here, I have Luminescent Platinum and I was able to install this with like 4 clicks. Little quick tutorial, have a legal copy of BDSP and its update file, install the update file, search Luminescent Platinum, download it, and install the mod in Eden, and you're done. Just boot it up. This is a little cringe for me to say, arguably, but this is my dream device as a kid. All of the Pokemon games ever, and Fortnite, all in just one handheld thing that fits in my pocket. Now, I know especially through things like 3DS modding, you can play a good majority of the Pokemon games on modern hardware, and there's instant save transfers of Pokemon and from bank and home, etc. But what if I told you that's possible on here too? So you have literally all the benefits of native hardware, which is crazy. For example, this isn't my video, but this one's gone viral in the space. By using 2 instances of RetroArch on different screens on the Thor, it's actually possible to do a local trade through 2 copies of the game. Better yet, you can actually patch your game, one version of the game, to include the other Pokemon that are in the other version of the game. So you have them all in one patch, you can catch them all in one game, which is just game changer. Online connectivity on the 3DS, it's dead on the eShop, it's dead on native hardware, but it's actually been revived on the Thor and is entirely possible again. What about it transferring to legitimate copies? What if you want to take Pokemon on here and put it over on Pokemon Home and use it in ZA. That's possible, fully possible. You need a legitimate 3DS for that, but it's there. There are some criticisms that I get, right? The price, you can basically get a 3DS for the same price, if not cheaper, because I know the Thors have been going up, so I get it. And any other Android, honestly, have borderline the same capabilities, depending on what you're getting, right? But you're not getting anything in a form factor like the Thor. Dude, I just got Cocoon, and Jesus, this thing is like awesome. This thing has been my Balatro machine for like weeks. Also, I've been loving Balatro. And the other thing, setup, I mean, it does take a while. I got lucky enough. I have a 1 terabyte SD card in this thing. I have the base model, so it doesn't have that much storage. The 1 terabyte SD card has saved me. Get some extra storage if you're getting this thing. I feel like I want to get the point across that this has entirely revived my love for Pokemon. The fact that every single version of every game, besides Pokopia, can be played on this thing, and fan-made versions. It's just like this. I feel like it's not even fair to some of the modern devices out there. You get what I'm saying? I've gotten really into Pokemon over this thing, and it's kind of consumed my life. Like, I got into the TCG right here. I actually started a TCG channel for me opening Pokemon packs and stuff like that, so I'll link that. I dug my heels in, and I'm going. It has replaced every single one of my consoles besides my Switch. I feel like those two are the only things that you need at this point, quite frankly. If you guys have any recommendations, let me know. If you guys have any questions, if this sold you on the Thor, please let me know. I need to know if I'm being a good enough shill for this thing. I'm not getting paid or anything, but anyways, be sure to have your notifications on and go check out the TCG channel, dude. I've been having so much fun ripping some Pokemon packs. Anyways, I'm out.